Okay, you can start.
Hi, good night, everyone. So you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. So my name is Travis Ali, and my group members are Alia Mohammed and Darren Potku. And today we are presenting on being in communities. So our content today or objectives is an introduction, the importance of a community, elements of a community, a common center, communities of practice, the development of a community, college communities, conclusion and references. So as we begin today, let's just imagine a world where no one seems to exist, where everyone lives in isolation and there is no communication. That's a hard topic to think about, right? Um, so we as humans are social beings and thrive on communication and relationships. Communities are one of the important things in human life. A community is a connection of persons who share common goals, likes, humor, and support. This can be a small group of friends, a neighborhood, or even a workplace. In this presentation, we will discuss why communities are important, the key elements that keep a community together, a common center, communities in practice, how communities are developed, and college communities. So a community is a group of people with a common characteristics or interests living together within a larger society. This is defined by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Um, However, a perfect community is something that does not exist. There are, however, strong communities that always support and build up their members. It becomes a space where individuals can grow, learn, and support each other. Wheatley and Kellner Rogers from 1998 said that these questions are important for communities to ask constantly. These questions are: who are we and what matters? These questions identify and give purpose to a group. Knowledge about community, morally believing in communities, and being skilled at evolving and supporting community are important characteristics of relational leadership. John Gardner from 1990 stated, skill in the building and rebuilding of community is one of the highest and most essential skill a leader can command. This is because leadership is not only about leading individuals, but it is also about molding an environment where individuals can thrive and grow together. This is a discipline. It requires to be studied just as any other subject taught at school. It is not enough to only understand each other. We must also actively work to create surroundings where people feel respected and supported. So I have a question, and I would like, if not one person, two persons to answer. So, have you ever been a part of a group where you truly felt like you belong? And to follow up that question, what made that experience special?
I could answer. So yes, I have been in a group like that, and what made it special is that everyone in the group was more or less like-minded individuals. So it was like easy to talk to people, communicate, get along, things like that.
Okay,
Me
yeah,
too.
I understand. All right, go ahead.
Um, but it was in terms of like everyone had the same mindset and the goal that was shared are the same, and everyone they get along as well, which was the best part.
Okay,
Sorry about
nice.
the music.
All right, so communities are not always meaningful or effective. Many groups operate but lack a sense of connectivity. In contrast, strong communities ensure people feel important, like they contribute value and they are a part of. For example, Let's think about a time where you were part of a team, a club, or class, and you felt valuable, connected, and engaged in the tasks and goals of the group. So now think about a time when you were in a group that lacked communication, maybe in a class where no one worked together, or in a workplace where people just showed up to work, no engagement, and they leave. The difference is clear. A strong community fosters motivation and purpose, while a weak one creates disconnection. Relational leadership asks you to envision the context of the setting as a healthy community, which leads to a whole model of expectations and norms for working together effectively as participants in shared leadership. So now we move on to elements of a community. Gardner 1990 identified 8 essential elements that make up a strong and effective community. They all make perfect sense in order for a community to function properly. So number one, we have wholeness incorporating diversity, meaning that different problems can be solved by other people or even other types of creativity and innovations. Number two, a shared culture. This is important because it gives individuals a sense of belonging. Number three, good internal communication. This boosts engagement and promotes collaboration with decision making. Number four, care and trust and teamwork. This speaks for itself. It promotes care, trust, and teamwork. Number five is group maintenance and governance. This means that the community runs cohesively. Number six, participation and shared leadership tasks. This increases equity while embracing the diversity of the community. Development of young people. This promotes creativity, innovation, and mentorship for the future. And links with the outside world. This adopts growth and opportunity outside of the community. Right? So now we move on to change in communities. A true community cannot exist without diversity. This was said by Code 1991. I believe I said that correct. Traditionally, communities were seen as a group of individuals with the same look, living in the same geographical area, and having similar histories or backgrounds. Diversity is one of the most prevalent changes in the meaning of community, meaning the diversity of ideas, skills, experiences, and worldviews. A community will not be able to function properly if everyone in the community is similar in all aspects of life. Other traditional views have held that communities need face-to-face interaction, which is possible only through close geographical proximity. So now we'll just show a short video
What is
about
an
online
online
community.
community? An online community is a group of people who have a common interest and communicate through the internet. They get together online on websites, discussion boards, instant messaging services, email, etc., and pursue their interests over time. An online community is a network of individuals who communicate with one another online. We also call it an internet community. It is a virtual community, that is, a social network of individuals who interact online. Online communities are communities first and online second. We are all surrounded by communities throughout our lives. For example, we live in a geographical community, study in an academic community, and work in a professional community. Some of us worship in a temple with a religious community. Our friends represent a social community. Wherever individuals share a common interest, there is probably a community. Online communities today differ from traditional ones in that most participants now interact via the internet. Community members did not used to interact online. They simply couldn't. Before the advent of the internet, the only way community members could interact in real time was face to face. Some community members received letters from a central hub, but they were much less common. The internet has changed how we work, play, shop, study, and organize our communities. One huge advantage between online communities and offline ones of the past is their geographical reach. Before the internet, regular community meetings involved mainly members who lived locally. Today, however, an online community may have members from the US, UK, members who lived locally. Today, however, an online community may have members from the US, UK, Japan, Australia, Chile, Somalia, etc. They can be from anywhere in the world as long as they have an internet connection. They can all interact whenever they like and have virtual conferences in which any member worldwide can attend.
Alright, so I realize the video skipping a lot. We'll
Thank you
just
for watching
continue,
this
right?
brief video on online
Oh, it's finished.
communities.
My bad. Okay. So no, go back. Right. So online and virtual communities. So as the video said, technology has transformed the way we connect. Today, online communities bring people together regardless of the physical location that they're in. However, there are concerns about online communities replacing face-to-face interaction. Some may say that online communication can lead to isolation. This can be diminished by the effective and responsible use of the electronic or online or virtual communication to facilitate community. So an example of this is how this presentation was put together. We were a small community communicating via online processes such as WhatsApp. So I'll now hand you over to Alia.
So I'll now talk about a command center. According to Martin Buber, some form of community is essential for living a meaningful life. He defines community as a group of people who have chosen a common center, meaning that they are united by a shared goal or purpose. A true community is made up of people who have different perspectives and complementary personalities rather than those who all think alike. A group of leadership educators who debated the role and significance of community in shared leadership define community as the binding together of diverse individuals committed to a just common good through shared experiences in a spirit of caring and social responsibility. In order to achieve a common center, there are certain characteristics that should be in play. 1. Rational leadership and inclusion. Effective community development requires rational leadership that deeply prioritizes inclusion and empowers people to collaborate towards common goals. Openness and dialogue. Being open is a guiding principle in these communities. To engage in effective discussion, it's important to listen and let go of the demand of control, especially when opposing views arise. Lack of readiness to relinquish control leads to monologue and hinders community building. Being in a community means accepting that individuals' needs may not always be met. Buber 1958 reminds us that this doesn't mean accepting views of others just to create a false peace. Rather, it means keeping in mind the commitment to greater values. Another aspect to achieving a common center is moral responsibility and on authenticity. This quote, communities speak to us in moral voices, emphasizes the powerful moral influence that communities have on individuals. Communities set ethical expectations and norms for their members. They shape our sense of right and wrong through shared values and collective beliefs. Being part of a community comes with responsibilities. Communities expect their members to uphold certain standards, contribute to the common good, and act in ways that align with the group's values. While personal conscience guides morality, community reinforces and sustains these values. They provide external validation, support, and accountability, helping individuals maintain their ethical commitments. So here are just some things to reflect on. Are you genuinely supporting the communities that matter to you? And do your actions reflect your values? So let's take a moment to reflect on how genuinely we contribute to the communities that matter to us. Communities serve as a stage where our true values are displayed, revealing whether our actions align with what we claim to believe. In this way, they act as mirrors reflecting our authentic self. We now move on to communities of practice. So, communities of practice, what are they? A community of practice is an alliance or group of individuals who collaborate and exchange experiences to continuously learn about a common interest, profession, or skill. They can emerge naturally on purpose in order to share information, work through issues, and gain experience. Communities of practice goes even beyond passive membership. Simply considering yourself a member of several communities is insufficient to be considered a community of practice. Membership can also refer to merely being listed on a roster or having a passive relationship. You can be intensely interested and dedicated to the success of your service organizations, senior class council, or an ethnic or religious group you belong to. But due to time constraints, lack of interest, or changing priorities, you may only join one of these groups and not really be involved in the others, as no one can really devote enough time to or efforts to actively participate in every community they identify with. However, joining a community of practice requires interacting with people who are pursuing some kind of objective. In some communities, we are centrally active, meaning that we take a leadership roles that contribute regularly and strongly influence a group's direction. In other communities, you may be peripherally involved, meaning that you engage occasionally, observe rather than lead, or participate in minimal level. For example, a student might be deeply involved in a campus leadership group, would be central role, but only occasionally attend meetings of a central club, which would be peripheral roles. This reflects how people balance their time, energy, and priorities across different communities. True participation in a community of practice means meaningful collaboration towards shared goals. Another aspect to community of practice is social networks and civic engagement. The relationships we build within communities of practice play a crucial role in achieving shared goals and shaping our sense of identity and fulfillment. In American society, strong participation in various communities have traditionally been a defining characteristic of democracy. Robert Putnam, 1995, highlighted a decline in civic engagement, noting reduced participation in labor unions, churches, and PTA meetings. His famous bowling alone metaphor illustrates this shift. While more Americans bowled towards between 1980 and 1993, participation in bowling leagues significantly declined. This would have suggested a move away from collaborative activities towards more individualistic pursuits. At the same time, new forms of engagement have emerged, such as environmental organizations, book clubs, and support groups, with many Americans now turning into workplace relationships rather than neighborhood connections for social interactions. Putnam introduces the concept of social capital, comparing it to physical and human capital. Social capital consists of networks, norms, and trusts, which help people collaborate and work towards a common benefit. The shift from civic to more personal interest groups raise important questions about the evolving of nature of community engagement. Another aspect is social capital and community functionality. To fully engage members, communities of practice must consider how their policies, norms, and structures either support or hinder participation. A workplace, for example, fosters a strong sense of community when it encourages collaboration, collaborative decision making, professional growth, recognition of contributions, and mutual support among coworkers. Such elements would strengthen connections and commitment within the group. To enhance engagement, individuals should evaluate whether the structures within their communities encourage or limit meaningful involvement. Identifying and addressing these barriers can help create a more inclusive and effective environment. Being part of a community requires a mutual commitment between individuals and the group. Individuals must choose to engage, while the community must create an inclusive and supportive environment. Harvard sociologist Charles Wiley, 1992, explains that communities function through two key principles. One, contributive justice. Members must fulfill their responsibilities, contribute to shared goals, and uphold community values. And two, distributive justice, where the community must ensure fairness, inclusion, and protection for all members. When individuals fail to respect shared values, such as disrupting a residence hall or sabotaging a team project, the community may choose to remove them. Communities also thrive on serial reciprocity, which is a cycle of kindness which acts of help and support are passed forward rather than directly paid. This ongoing exchange of goodwill fosters a sense of belonging and shared responsibility, strengthening the community cultures over time. So here's a short film which depicts the ripple effects of kind acts, showing how receiving unexpected generosity from a stranger can inspire us to become more compassionate and pass on kindness to others. Watching this video can provide a heartfelt understanding of how simple acts of kindness can create a chain reaction, fostering a more connected and caring community.
Okay, I think we got the idea. Maybe you can move forward to the next set of slides
Okay.
and post the links to these into the WhatsApp chat group so people could see it because your system seems to be buffering a lot.
Okay, no problem. Responsibility and ethical leadership. So Arun Gandhi, 1998, recounted valuable lessons from his grandfather, Mahatma Gandhi, about the root causes of violence in societies. His grandfather believed that harm arises when key aspects of life lacks ethical grounding, such as gaining wealth without effort, seeking pleasure without moral awareness, pursuing knowledge without integrity, engaging in business without ethics, advancing science without compassion, practicing religion without self-sacrifice, participating in politics without principles, claiming rights without accepting responsibilities. These insights highlight the importance of ethical responsibilities in personal and communal life. In communities of practice, fostering a sense of duty towards others is essential for maintaining meaningful connections and a just society. Just some more things to reflect on. How do your communities foster engagement and ethical participation? And are you actively contributing to their success? So I'll now pass you on to Darren, who will proceed.
Hi. So, introduction to the community development. Community does not form instantly. It requires an intentional effort from all members. Understanding the stages of building communities helps to bring the community closer together. On the first day that people come together in a new setting, whether it's, let's say, it's a residence hall, a classroom, a committee, community does not simply happen. The sense of belonging and togetherness must be developed with intent, and understanding the stages of this community development can help foster deeper connections and improve group dynamics. So Scott Peck would have identified 4 stages that communities must go through before they become truly authentic. Initially, there is a superficial harmony, which he refers to as pseudo-community. Then difference emerges, leading to chaos. The next stage, being emptiness, is about letting go of personal biases to truly communicate. And finally, the last stage of true community, conflict is resolved constructively and a real sense of belonging is achieved. Pseudo-community. Pseudo-community can be defined as a group of people who appear to be in a community, but between whom there are no connections and interactions as perceived by the observer. In this stage, people are polite and everything appears to be going well. However, real issues are not addressed. People avoid conflict rather than resolving it. making this an illusion of a true community rather than an authentic one. Can anyone think of an example of a pseudo community? Anyone? Okay. So let's just say an example of the pseudo community can be a group on social media, let's say where members like or just comment on each other posts, but the interaction is little to nothing and it's not meaningful. So you all don't contribute to a greater cause. Chaos. As differing perspectives surface, this stage becomes noisy and disorganized. Groups or factions may emerge, leading to tension in the community. While some may want to retreat, it's important to remember that acknowledging division is better than pretending it doesn't exist. Transition from chaos, organization versus emptiness. Groups can either structure rules to suppress this conflict, which only manages but does not resolve the underlying issues, or or entirety of the emptiness, where individuals drop their assumptions and open up to genuine communication. This stage requires people to set aside stereotypes and preconceived notions that hinder communication. By doing so, they allow for honest, constructive dialogue, which sets the stage for authentic community building. Stage 4, being true community. At this final stage, conflict still arises, yes, but it is approached with a spirit of collaboration. This is the stage where each member of the group collaborates and work towards a common goal. This is where a real sense of we is created, hence we move from I to we. Community as a continuous process. A community is never a finished product. As new members join and old members leave, as external situation changes, the cycle of community building must be repeated. Understanding this helps strong relationships over time within the community. So we have 7 community building principles, and this would have been enlisted by Goodyear Kunst, 1991. So the first one, be committed, be mindful, be unconditionally accepting, be concerned for both yourself and others, be understanding, be ethical, and be peaceful. These principles guide individual behavior within the community. They emphasize commitment, self-awareness, acceptance, ethical behavior, and peace. Practicing these 7 values enhances the community's cohesion and effectiveness. The role of a relational leadership. Relational leadership is vital for community development. Leaders must foster inclusivity, being diversity and acceptance, empower members, maintain ethical standards, set purposeful shared goals, and ensure open communication is kept at all times. These elements create a healthy and thriving community. We have a little conclusion for community development. Building a strong community is an ongoing process that requires dedication and awareness. Recognizing the stages of development and applying community building principles can lead to deeper connections and a more supportive environment for everyone. College communities. Colleges are expected to be inclusive, learning communities, but issues such as discrimination and disconnection amongst groups prevent a strong sense of belonging. Institutions must actively work to create an environment that fosters mutual respect and collaboration from each of its members. So the need for a renewed sense of community. Rather than seeking a past version of community that was more homogeneous, the modern college community should welcome diversity. A healthy college community includes fairness, a shared purpose, discipline, and mutual respect. So the Carnegie Foundation study 1990 found that students, faculty, and staff all desired a stronger sense of community. The goal is not to return to an old, uniform model, but to embrace diversity while finding a common ground. This foundation identified key elements of a healthy communication being purposeful, open, just, caring, and celebrative of each of its members. College campuses as a microcosm of society. Colleges are not a single unified community, but a network of interconnected groups. Recognizing these diverse sub-communities helps foster understanding and cooperation. College campuses mirror society consisting of various smaller communities. These includes communities based on roles. So each student will have a role, faculty, administrators, staff, and alumni, and identified base groups, example, the Asian Student Association or graduate students. Functional groups like academic departments, student activities, and sports team also form smaller communities within the college. Balancing administrative and student perspectives. Students and administrators may have different concerns, but effective collaboration ensures both institutional goals and the students' needs are met. Open communication and shared decision-making help create a more inclusive and supportive campus. So students and administrators often have different priorities. Administrators may focus on cost effectiveness, community support, and institutional reputation, whereas the student may prioritize personal growth and development, addressing community needs, and improving their environment. Collaboration between both groups, the administrators and the students, lead to better outcomes for the entire college population. The purpose of different organizations. Every organization plays a role in shaping the college experience. By respecting and valuing the different goals of each group, campuses can foster an environment where all members feel included and appreciated. So different campus organizations have distinctive focuses. Academic communities emphasizes learning, scholarship, and student development. Social groups, which means you and your peers, you'll prioritize friendship, engagement, and fun. Sports teams focus on teamwork, discipline, and competition. Regardless of their focus, all groups thrive when they intentionally practice the discipline of community. The connection between local and global communities. Smaller college communities contribute to the development of a global community. Morse, who quoted in 1999, emphasizes that common interests and relationships will define future communities. The global community will be interdependent, and diverse, requiring cooperation across cultures. A strong campus community enhances the broader society. So by fostering positive communities on campuses, students prepare for active participation in a diverse, interconnected world. Promoting collaboration and respect on campus sets the foundation for a more unified global society. Building and supporting a campus community. College communities thrive when students, faculty, and staff takes all the active steps to engage with and support one another. By making a conscious effort to build connections, individuals contribute to a more welcoming and effective learning environment. Each individual plays a role in strengthening their campus's community, promoting inclusivity and fostering connections within different groups that support the larger institutions. Taking responsibility for building the community improves the overall educational experience for everyone. So here we're gonna just have a little conclusion, right? So in conclusion, being part of communities is a powerful and transformative experience. The text exploring leadership, in which this presentation was based on, the idea of community, emphasizes the importance of shared values, collective goals, and mutual support in fostering effective leadership. Communities, whether informal organizations or informal groups, offer individuals the opportunity to grow, collaborate, and contribute to something larger than themselves. Through these connections, leader develops key skills such as empathy, communication, and adaptability, which are essential for driving positive changes. Ultimately, being involved in communities allows individuals to build relationships, share resources, and navigate challenges together, creating a sense of belonging and empowerment that strengthens both the individual and the collective amongst them. So these are just some of the references we use. Most of the information would have been taken from the textbook Exploring Leadership. Thank you all for your attention.